finished third.
A decade later, we're back here with the 23rd World Gymnastics Championships, and again, it's a young Romanian, less than 20 years old, in the spotlight. Her name, Ekaterina Szabo. Hello, I'm Jim McKay, reporting once again from Montreal, and little Ekaterina has her big chance. She's never won the World Championship, was, of course, a sentimental second to Mary Lou Retton in the Olympic Games of Los Angeles. But now coming to this final phase of the women's individual all-around, she is the leader, but by the narrowest of margins over 3 Soviets and an East German. It's very close competition, and it's not a case right here that the Russians are coming, the Russians are coming. The Russians are here, and they're here in force, back after a 2-year absence that was caused, of course, by their boycott of the Olympic Games in Los Angeles. As for the Americans, well, before we get to that, let's bring in our expert on the women's branch of the sport, Kathy Rigby McCoy. This should be a very tight, very exciting, and a beautiful battle, shouldn't it?
Oh, it should be very exciting. And once again, to talk about Ekaterina Szabo, she has performed spectacularly here. And you have to admire her not only for her physical talents, but also for her fighting spirit. As you said, she was 3rd in the World Championships, 2nd at the Olympics, and she doesn't want to be denied that all-around gold. Only 0.05 of a point behind her, Natalia Yurchenko, the past world champion, and also followed by 3 of the most outstanding gymnasts in a long, long time. Young girl named Dagmar Kirsten from the German Democratic Republic, their answer to Maxi Ganauk, and also Elena Shushanova and Oksana Omelianchik from the Soviet Union. Both received standing ovations and perfect 10s for their floor exercise routine.
Well, those 10s were in the earlier team competition, and here are the standings. Now, these were attained in the team championship and are carried over into the all-around final. There's the little face we remember so well from Los Angeles. When we left it was a sad expression. Just after the celebration for Mary Lou Retton, Ekaterina Szabo was almost in tears. Now she's back, trying for the World Championship that's always escaped her. Even in the university games, more recently, she was 2nd again in the all-around.
But she has shined here, Jim. And you know, it takes an awful lot to distract Kathy's concentration. Two back handsprings into a layout.
Still just 18 years old.
There's her scissor leap. Little controlled on those, not quite as high as she could have them. Now, once again, remember, execution counts a great deal. If they get more than 0.3 of a point off for executional errors, then they lose 2/10 in virtuosity. Whoops, there she goes. And that's a 0.5 of a point deduction for falling, minus the 2/10 in bonus points for virtuosity. So she loses 0.7 of a point right there.
A huge loss, the way gymnastics is scored.
And that will probably throw her out of the all-around.
Remember, she was the leader coming into this performance right here.
Big disappointment.
And this year's European Championship, she was no better than 5th in the all-around.
Once again, you can see that the level of difficulty really makes a difference. It's easier to fall on those tough moves. And getting ready for a dismount, round off, double back. A big disappointment for Ekaterina Szabo. You can see it there.
She couldn't have had a worse start in this final competition for the women's individual all-around.
Unless there are major mistakes made by the other top gymnasts, you can bet that she
Let's see what happens.
Even a slight miscalculation, little shoulder lean to the left, a slight kick, and boy, you're right off. And that's 0.5 of a point for the fall. As we said, 2/10 off for the virtuosity.
And just like that, there probably goes another World Championship, 9.125. Probably not nearly good enough, particularly with people coming up like Natalia Yurchenko, the 1983 world champion, and here she is from the Soviet Union at age 20, young woman of Greek, Siberian, and Ukrainian descent.
She begins with a pull-in double back, no dance movements prior. There she is. Oops, she's out. That's a 1/10 of a point right there. Not a good way to start. Whip over right into back handspring double back. A little bit slow on that landing. You know, with all those quirky, quick-moving routines of the other gymnasts, it really personifies classical dance.
And with that little out-of-bounds move, hope stirs again in Szabo.
She has always had this Spanish-style dancing. Scissor split lead. Very nice flexibility. One of the requirements on the floor exercise is double turns.
You saw Balder in the background. 4 events going on at once here.
Now, her last tumbling run, she does a double back. Once again, that energy here is so important. Out off back handspring, goes back, and looks like she's close to that line.
Close to it again, and definitely went out in the early going, the early part of the routine there.
Let's take another look at that opening run, a full-in double back. She over-rotates it, loses her balance, as you can see right here. She holds on a little long and steps right out. 1/10 of a point there.
And it looked like she might have gone out again near the end, but there's the mark, 9.75. So she is the new leader at this point, Natalia Yurchenko. Here, just a minute or two ago, Elena Shushinova, whom you're watching on the sidelines there, got a mark of 9.875 with this performance on the vault.
And you could describe Shushinova's vault the same way you described Mary Lou, powerful and explosive. And she really fights to hold her feet in place in the end.
Here is a new one for you, and you'll be seeing a lot of her. A 15-year-old Ukrainian from Kiev, 4 feet 7, 66 pounds, Oksana Omelianchik in her first world championship.
There's a straddle over the low bar. This is an event that gave her trouble in the team competition. Clear hip handstand. Look at the extension. Right into us. She caught up into us. Fly away, catch the low bar. She's so tiny, she fits between that bar very well. Heck to the high bar. Every move is executed so well. Full twist.
Talk about poise.
Very innovative. And here's the dismount. Giant swing. Double twisting flyaway. Can't get much better than that.
Okay, Omelianchik in 4th place coming in here, but only 3/10 out of 1st place. She could move up dramatically. And her score, 9.8. That ties her with Shushinova for 2nd place with 3 events to go. And as you see, Szabo has fallen all the way to 7th position. Much more to come here, and very shortly you'll be seeing Omelianchik and Shushinova had the marks to be in this final in the sense that each nation is allowed a maximum of 3 competitors in the final, and they had 3 teammates with better marks than they had.
That's right. Mostapanova and Baraksanova, both of them placed 3rd and 4th coming into this competition, but the Soviets really have their strategy together. I think they knew that Omelianchik and Shushinova were really prepared, and unfortunately had a couple of mistakes in the all-around competition, or in the team competition, but they were really ready for this, and I think that they knew.
And under the rules, they're allowed to replace them if they were in the top 2.
Yes.
Well, it's going to be a battle to the finish for the World Championship between the old champ and her 2 rookie teammates. That old story in sports. This is the old champ at age 20, Natalia Yurchenko. She's less than 2/10 of a point ahead of Shushinova and Omelianchik. They're the rookies. She comes now to the uneven parallel bars.
She begins with a free straddle over the low bar. Positions on every move is almost faultless. Reverse touch. Oh, big break there.
Right there goes the World Championship white putt.
As you said, with the difficulty level where it is, anything is possible, including big breaks. She had trouble with this event in the compulsory, fell on a handstand. And now another big disappointment.
You mentioned earlier about these young women being tired. They have to be at the end of a long move like this.
Absolutely.
She looks tired.
She has been tired during the competition, even though she's done very well. Let's take another look at that fall in slow motion, just to see exactly what happened.
So it may be the year of the rookie here. Not over yet.
And she extends every move to the fullest, and sometimes even taking that risk and not playing it safe can be a problem. Here's the reverse tech, and she just had so much pressure on her arms coming down, couldn't hold on to it.
And her fate now rests in their hands. There are the judges, and here is a very unhappy young lady because she senses what's coming. There it is, 9.125. Looks like she'll not reach it. So now the door opens for Oksana Omelianchik at the age of 15, at the height of 4'7", at the weight of 66. Floor exercise for her.
And she brought the house down with this exercise in a fashion that reminds you of Olga Korbut. She makes you cheer and laugh out loud, and she has so much fun on this event.
She has that same brave-looking little attitude of old.
Exactly. And a powerful tumbler. Listen to this music. The first tumbling run is a pull-in double back. Right into a back handspring, and she's happy now. And I have to set up the second tumbling run. She does 2 in 1, and you'll see what I mean.
It looks now like this World Championship is going to go to either a 15-year-old or a 14-year-old. Look at that.
Now she starts back going the other way. And you can see the crowd respond. As she did in the team competition, she has that audience wrapped around her fingers. Very theatrical. And the last tumbling run, a double back. In the pike position, right into a back handspring layout.
Wow.
Now that's artistic gymnastics.
If this was a movie, the ads would read, if you like Olga Kovic, you'll love Oksana Omelianchik. She's here with years of competition ahead of her at the age of 15.
And after so many complicated and demanding tumbling runs, she ends with this double pike. I think she has found the secret to being a great gymnast, making it look easy.
As the great athletes do in any sport, Kathy, I think. Well, now the weight for the mark, I strongly suspect if she gets anything less than a 10, this crowd may start booing. All right. 9.975 and the crowd boos. I told you, anything less than 10. And it's only been all around in her own national championship. But she's 4th here in the world and very much in competition for a medal.
And she follows in the footsteps of her former teammate, Maxi Ganowski, who retired prior to this competition. Very similar in the way that they work, so precise and strong. Of course, the Germans have always been strong on this apparatus. You can see why right here. She does not give away any form break. And ends with a front with a half twist. Excellent routine.
Okay, the music you hear, of course, for another gymnast on the floor exercise. Still a 4-ring circus going on here. They've been calling Dagmar Annie up here because of her resemblance to Little Orphan Annie.
And great spunk. There's a clear hip to the handstand. You can see she hits that handstand perfectly right in the correct position, pikes down, and look how she soars above that bar. Floats through the air. Good landing.
There she is, trying to be nonchalant about it all, but taking a glance at this. 9.9, a terrific mark for Kirsten of East Germany. And now the pressure shifts to the 14-year-old, but a 14-year-old with a past record of achievement already. She won the individual all-around at the European Championships.
She begins with a planche. And strength is hers at this point. There's one movement after the other that is extremely difficult. She has 3 layouts in this exercise, and usually there are only 1 per exercise. There's 1, 2 right in a row, and she's solid.
The music is for someone performing on the floor exercise. It doesn't distract her. Elena Shushonova. She needs a 10 to take the lead by herself, 9.975 to tie.
She's got a couple of slight bobbles, nothing major. Here she goes into a chin stand. And remember, the gymnast does not want to get more than 0.3 point deduction for bobbles. Otherwise, they won't get their 2/10 for virtuosity. So far, she's moving quite well. Only those slight bobbles in the beginning. But jump, 2 in a row. And there's her flexibility. She took out one of her layouts that ends with a double back solid landing.
Oh, yes. Her father will be giving out free taxi rides tomorrow if she pulls this off.
That's right.
But she needs, remember, almost a perfect mark to tie for the lead.
Let's see her acrobatic or tumbling move. 2 layouts in a row. And talk about blind. If you're off in the very first part of that, there's no way that you can finish all 3. You can see her concentration before her dismount. A double back. She has to fit both feet on the balance beam, get a good punch. You can see she's not very close to the end, but she sure sails out.
Certainly did. Now, how good was it? There it is, 9.9. So with one event to go, she'll trail by 75 1/1000th of a point. And the final event is one of her best, the floor exercise. It isn't over. Individual all-around titles back-to-back. It comes to the final event. Oksana Omelianchik with a lead of 75 1/1000th of a point for the World Championship at the age of 15.
And she does a very good round off back handspring. Full twisting Yurchenko. Excellent. Just done very well. No problems on that. She's high. Got a great deal of distance from the horse. Just what you need.
She's just got that same bouncy little confidence that Olga has.
Once again, let's look at the slow motion. Good, strong run. Pushes quickly off the horse, right in the center of that horse, too. Little hop there on the end, but only a 1/10 of a point.
Stand by for the marks, and she still has another vault to come. Each competitor gets 2 vaults in the individual all-around.
You know at this point she's concentrating. There it is.
9.85. Oh, well, that leaves just enough room. Just enough room.
And you know
second vault.
Excuse me, Jim. You know she knows it has to be perfect. A perfect landing. Slight hop there. A little bit better.
I think it was.
Just slightly. Maybe for a 9.9.
Let's have a closer look at it then.
Not quite as big a hop at the end. See that acceleration is so important. A lot of power off the horse there. So tiny, and she just sails in the air. Look how high above that horse she is. Reminds you of Mary Lou.
Talk about flexibility. Look at that body. 9.9. It was better. So, Shushanova is going to have to get a mark of 9.975 to tie, a 10 to win. And she's capable of it. Now Shushanova, at the age of 14, in her first World Championship, has the pressure of a World Championship on her shoulders. 9.975 will tie her for the gold medal. A perfect mark of 10 would win it all.
And that's what she did in the team competition, so we know she's capable of that. Her favorite event. This is a double layout, and she nails it.
Good start.
You know, it's interesting to compare the different styles here. Oksana Omelianchik had that playful theatrics, and Shushanova's choreography isn't quite the same, but it does complement her personality and her physical strength. Once again, you can describe her as powerful. Now round off to a jump right to the stomach. Take a look at this tumbling run. It's called an Arabian 1.5 to a dive roll.
And a pretty good one.
Seen in many of the men's events and on the men's floor exercise. Very seldom in women's floor exercise.
We used to hear much more of classical music. Now it's, as in this case, almost playful sort of music.
Once again, it fits their personality when they're that young. And here's the final run, a double back. Watch the power once again, and she nails it, as usual.
All right. Elena Shushanova, age 14. On the victory stand, she'll power over her teammate because she's 4.9.5 and her teammate is 4.7. But this is the moment of truth, as they always say. What will the mark be? First, a little analysis.
In slow motion, we have the opportunity to see those tumbling runs a lot better. They go so quickly. Here's around off that hamstring into that double layout. Needs a lot of lift in her chest to be able to get that rotation.
9.975. They have tied for the gold medal. Emelianchuk at age 15, Shushunova at age 14, tying for the World Championship of Women's Gymnastics. It's a big day for the Soviet Union.
When you think about their performances, it couldn't have come out any better, or any more fair.
And there you see it, the two Soviet teenagers tying for the gold medal. The bronze going to Kirsten, the 15-year-old from East Germany. The favorites, Szabo and Yurchenko, finishing 5th and 6th. Sabrina Marr, the best American finisher, in 14th place.
ABC's Wide World of Sports has been brought to you by